Hello, you guys. So I wanted to come in here and share a story with you. Something really powerful that I just experienced last week. And my hope is that this video is going to support you in having zero regrets in your life and living full blast, living your life 100%. So I was at lunch with a friend last week who I haven't seen in so long, and this friend is extraordinarily successful in the world. She has a flourishing company, and she's in her later stages of life, in her later years of life, and she's very, very wealthy, very successful, and recently her business has been dwindling a little bit. She's been a little, oh my God, Monica, I'm gonna try to focus here. But knowing you're here, I'm like, how am I gonna focus? Dr. O is in the house. So this friend is extraordinarily successful in the world. She has a flourishing mega multi-million-dollar company, and she recently had a lot of hits like in her company, and her health is suffering. And in this conversation that I was having with her, I haven't seen her in a long time, I was listening, and she's had like a lot of struggles and a lot of challenges, and I could feel like this hidden spark inside, like underneath the darkness and underneath everything was happening. And so I just asked her, what is it that's lighting you up right now? What is it that excites you? What would you love to actually create if there was no limit of time, of resources, of anything? And instantly, I barely got the question out of my mouth, and she answered instantly. She goes, I would close my company, I would write my book, I would focus on self-healing, I would travel to places I've never been, and I would invest more in my relationships. And I was like, okay, wow. And like she was just powerful and clear in that moment, and just like alive, and every cell was on board with what she was saying. And I said, so what's stopping you? Like, you literally can do anything. You've created crazy success in your life. All the power is in your hands. Like, what's stopping you? And then she just sunk down and she said, I just can't close the company because it's these people who have worked with me for 30 years. And if I close the company, they'll be out of jobs. And I can't do that to them. And I said, okay, so your health is suffering. You don't want to be there anymore. You don't want to do this work anymore. You have a dream. And the only reason you're staying is because you don't want to disappoint your employees, which I completely understand and is incredibly loving and caring and noble of you. I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly. She was like, yeah, that's exactly it. So we sat in silence for a moment and just let that have some space around it. And then I said to her, her dad recently passed away, and I asked her dad is like her love, like he was her best friend. And I said, if your dad was sitting with us at this table right now, what would he say to you? And it was instant. It was like instant answer, same power. That was exactly what she was saying, or like in the same energy of what she was expressing earlier around what she wants. And the two words that popped out of her mouth from her dad's perspective were, do it. All caps, crystal clarity, do it. Close the company, travel, put self-healing first, build your relationships, travel to places you've never been. And I was like, oh my God, like, great. Like, you're crystal clear. You're 100% clear. You have zero thing. You have nothing standing in between you and your soul clarity right now. And we held focus. We like literally locked gaze for like 3 minutes. I swear it felt like eternity passed by. And we stayed staring at each other in the middle of this moment of just, you can do this. You can close your company. You can self-heal. You can focus on writing your book. You can build your relationships. You can travel. You can do what you want right now. And in total silence. It was just like an intensity where something in her soul was being reached. And then when we came out of that silence, I could feel her immediately go back to, I can't do it. And I'm not going to go much further with the story because I don't know what happens with her. I don't know where she's going to go with this. But I realized in that moment that the majority of people are going to die with a huge regret in them. And I know this because if you guys have read The 5 Regrets of the Dying, there's a whole research that was done where this hospice nurse, she was at the deathbeds of, she was on helping people die just at their deathbeds for decades. And she started to notice that there was the same exact regret for every single person who was dying. There were actually 5 of them. And the number one most common regret of the dying, on their deathbed, they would confess to her, number 1, I wish I had the courage to live a life that was true to myself, not the life others expected of me. I wish I had the courage to live my life, not the life others wanted me to live. Second regret of the dying, I wish I hadn't worked so much. Third regret of the dying, these are people on their deathbeds who literally cannot take time back. Like the time is done. They can't go back to their life and relive it like it's over. They are giving us a gift, these people on their deathbeds. Her writing this book gave us a gift to fully live now so we don't die with regrets, so we have the courage to die without regrets. The third thing she said was that she discovered the dying were really regretting was, I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. The fourth is, I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. And the fifth is, I wish that I had let myself be happier. I wish I had let myself be happier. Here's the interesting thing. All 5 of these, my friend who I was sitting with, all 5 of these are a problem for her. Because number 1, she's afraid of disappointing her employees. And I'm going to get to that in a moment. She's afraid of disappointing her employees, so she's living what they need, not what she needs. Number 2, she's working endlessly, and actually her business is bleeding money right now because it's just having challenges. And so and she's working endlessly, basically to be there for her employees and completely dismissing her needs. Third is, I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. She doesn't have the time to heal herself, which is why she wants to focus on self-healing. The fourth is, I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. She wants to build her relationships with others, invest more in that. And the fifth is, I wish I had let myself be happier. So what I realized in that conversation with her is that most people are going to die regretting the way they lived out of fear of disappointing somebody. And I am making this video because whether you're 15 or you're 90, we all have the choice right now to make choices that will have us be on our deathbeds like, wow, I lived my life. So whoever's next to us at our bedside is like, wow, like this person has no regrets. Like, oh my God, what is it like to live a life with no regrets? A life led with courage, a life led with inspiration, a life that actually gives an example of what's possible, and a life that actually proves that what we think we can't do is actually the thing we must do. And it not only sets us free, it also sets the people free that we're afraid of disappointing. Because how does my friend know that her leaving or closing the company isn't the best thing for her employees? How does she know that? She doesn't. Why? Because she doesn't know anything. I don't know anything. You don't know anything. As my teacher says, we would have to know all things, past, present, and future, in order to know anything. We don't know the outcome. We think we know, but we don't know. We only know a sliver of life. We don't know. You see like horrible things happen, and then people have awakenings down the line and their whole lives change because of the pain or the suffering. We don't know what's best. So who are we to play God or control everything or be a martyr and sacrifice our lives in order to avoid disappointing others? I want to share this with you because the people on their deathbed said, don't do what I did. They're saying to us, Do not be on your deathbed regretting the fact that you put other people's needs before your own, that you didn't want to disappoint other people. So instead of living the life you were here to live, you lived a life that would please them. Pleasing is not serving. Pleasing is not helping. And so so these are the questions I want to ask you. If you have a notebook and a pen, grab it so that we can all make sure that we live our lives totally fulfilled with zero regrets at the end of our lives, okay? Number 1 question, what am I holding back on? So you can ask yourself this, what am I holding back on out of fear of how others will receive it? What am I holding back on out of fear of how others receive it? Okay, you may not have an instant answer, but sit with this question. What am I not doing out of fear of how others are going to perceive it, how they'll receive it, what they'll think about me? What am I not doing that I want to do out of fear of how others will perceive it? Number 1, okay? Second question, am I responsible for other people's happiness? Am I responsible for pleasing other people? Am I responsible for other people's happiness? Okay, second question. Third question, write these down and then take time, go outside, really answer them, dig in your soul, answer these questions from a deeper place, okay? Third question, what am I most afraid of happening if I do the thing I really want to do? What am I most afraid of happening if I do the thing I really want to do? So in my friend's case, if she were to close her company and go into self-healing and write her book and travel and invest time with her friends in her relationships, let's say her biggest fear is that everyone will lose, they won't have money, and all the people who have taken care of her in the business for all these years will go homeless. That's a valid fear, and it deserves to be aired out and seen and allowed to exist, right? So it's important to see it and write it down and then ask yourself, is this actually going to happen? What are the chances that this will happen? And is it my responsibility if it does happen? The fourth question is, if the worst case scenario were to happen, if the worst case scenario were to happen, could I be okay with it? And this is the big question. If the worst case scenario were to happen, could I be okay with it? So if one of her employees or all of her employees were to go homeless, which is, the odds of that are they're just not possible. Let's say one of her employees was really going to suffer and not survive financially. How can I be okay with this? So it's how can we find our way to be okay with the worst case scenario? And if you can find your way to be okay with the worst case scenario, you will find courage to do the thing you must do, the thing that you are so deeply called to do. And the beautiful thing is there are always options. Notice in my friend's scenario, my friend's situation, for example, if she closes her company, first of all, it sets people free to find their own resources, to then ask the question, what do I really want to do with my life right now? Because in midlife and beyond is actually when real life starts happening, the real juicy goodness starts to happen. I know this because we train transformational coaches, and I see people have a new career, fresh start in midlife often and beyond. And it's oh my God, this is a thing I was born to do, and now I have the time to do it. So closing one chapter is saying no to one thing opens up a golden yes to what your soul really wants to create. So how do we know that her saying no and closing her business to what she doesn't want anymore won't actually be the best gift that she can possibly give? Yes, the key, the best gift that she can possibly give her employees, to ask themselves, wow, anything's possible. I have a fresh start right now. I've worked for this person for 30 years. I can start over. And do you know that most people now, most people starting careers are later in their lives? There is a whole new reality that we're living in right now, where life only gets better. And people in their later years, as we get older, we carry more wisdom, and that wisdom is desired and needed to be shared. So this is like a little bit of a tangent. I just want you to ask yourself the 4 questions I shared in this video. Go deep with it. There's something deeper I can share with this, which is the very thing that we're afraid of. Like, my friend is obviously afraid of people thinking she's a bad person or whatever for doing this. It's in order to be a whole person, we actually have to own the light and the shadow. So we actually, this is a whole other, this would be more of a training. If you guys want me to go into like how to really be okay with living your life and having the courage to live on your terms, even if it pisses everybody off, let me know in the comments, because it's going to take too long to do now. Maybe I'll do like another training or a video. And so just answer these 4 questions and imagine yourself at the end of your life. Imagine what it will feel like to actually have 0 regrets. That's what I want for you. That's why I've made this video today. I love you guys with all my heart. I know there are comments. Oh, Emily. Oh, I'm going to just check them out really quickly. So, how can I meet new people without feeling shy? These are great questions for future videos. So powerful. I love that you're here, Jessie. Monica, I bet she broke down crying in tenderness. She did. How did you know that? And she's not a crier at all. She did. You're good. You are intuitive. Hi, all. Glad to see you live. Sounds like a good topic. Jordan is in the house. What to do when you are disconnected from your dreams or desires? Yeah. Well, you are a master at that, Dr. O, helping people with that. So massive shift in life phase with the job loss and the passing of some loved ones. I've been thinking about quality of life a lot. I know I want to live my best life. I want to die with memories, not regrets, still trying to get beyond fear and self-doubt. Thank you for sharing this, Rose. And I know it's not easy, I imagine, not to put words in your mouth, but I will say that life shift with the job loss and the passing of some loved ones. You know, we had a lot of fires here in California, like devastating fires through the last few years. And I will say, through that devastation, what I have realized now that I'm looking out the window and it is so lush and green and gorgeous and incredible, is that destruction leads to a rebirth. And I know it's not easy in the moment, and we should definitely feel the fire when it's happening rather than trying to escape it, like really be with what's coming up. But I share that with you because often life has to demolish things in order to welcome in a new possibility. So I send you so much light, and may you keep going and just know that there is something beautiful that can come of this. If you just stay in your heart, stay the course, stay asking yourself the question, what do you truly love? And keep honoring that, keep honoring yourself. Melissa, I am so glad you're here. I love you guys. We just had a freaking powerful, beautiful authenticity circle in the Diamond Dojo. I wanted to share this story with them, but we ran out of time. So I'm like, I'm going to go on YouTube, I promise, right now and share this story. And it worked out perfectly because I think this is landing for you guys. So let me know how it goes. Let me know if you are willing to be the person who has the courage to live your life truly, like they said, to live your life the way you know you're here to live it, rather than fearing disappointing others. Put a yes or a heart in the comments. Just choose it. Let me know that you're choosing it. And I'm sending you guys so much love this weekend. Enjoy this weekend. Enjoy going deep with these 4 questions and see where it takes you. I'm sending you guys a big embrace. Mwah! Jessie's already a yes. Melissa is a yes. Here's to a movement of all of us moving forward with courage and demonstrating what it's like to lead our lives with love and allow others to do the same. Stacy, thanks for coming on. Actually coach someone with the same exact scenario. Sometimes it's hard for us as humans to just say, I'm important enough to myself to make this choice for myself. Thank you so much for sharing that, Stacy. Carrie is a yes. You are welcome, Rose. Yes, when you are living your best life. Yes, Dr. O, I love you. I miss you. And just sending you guys so much love. You're welcome. You are so, so welcome, you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Mwah!